So you just got your first spinning wheel. How excited are you right now? Let's get you spinning. Welcome to my channel. I'm Evie and I make yarn and spinning tutorials. If you want to see more fun videos about spinning, click subscribe to see a new spinning tutorial and podcast every week. This wheel is a vintage Ashford traditional, and it was my first wheel. While your wheel might look a little different than this one, the steps I'm going to walk you through apply to any flyer type of spinning wheel. So you should be able to follow along, regardless of if you have a Saxony style wheel or a castle style wheel with the drive wheel on the bottom and all the business end up here. This will work for any type of wheel. For this video, I'm going to assume that your spinning wheel is put together and in working condition with all of the bits, bobs, and drive band intact. The first thing we're going to talk about is the treadle. That's the bit you work with your foot. Some wheels have one treadle, like mine does, and some wheels have two treadles, which you would use with both feet. As you begin treadling, you want to get into a smooth rhythm. We don't want to slow down at the top because then we go back and forth, and that is not going to work when we're spinning. We want to go in one direction. Typically, when you spin yarn, you're going to spin in a clockwise direction from your perspective. So watch that big drive wheel and see if you can keep it going in a clockwise direction. Nice and smooth. Sometimes it can feel like the wheel is getting away from you and it goes faster and faster and faster. That's why we're practicing the treadling. Sometimes it can feel like you can't get it going after it stops or you start going back and forth. Again, that's why we're practicing the treadling. Keep a nice, smooth momentum in one direction until you can maybe have a conversation or pay attention to other things around you and not have to think about it, but your foot or feet keep going. After you've practiced smoothly treadling at a constant speed in a clockwise direction, go ahead and practice in a counterclockwise direction as well. Practice stopping and starting and having a good control and relaxed feel while you treadle. After you've gotten comfortable with the treadling, we're going to practice putting yarn onto the bobbin. We're not going to start spinning with fiber. We're not quite ready. We're going to practice with some already made yarn. I have some cotton yarn here. You can use whatever you have lying around. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to take a nice long loop of this yarn, about an arm span, and then double that over again. I'm going to tie a knot in this yarn to make it into a big giant loop, just like that. I'm going to attach my loop onto my bobbin. Like so. Make it nice and tight. You don't want it to slip. You'll want to have an orifice hook. This is a piece of bent over wire. You can also use a bent paper clip or a crochet hook if you have one handy. Bring your practice yarn through one of your hooks or around a peg, whatever your wheel might have. And then you'll want to feed it through the orifice. Yes, that's what it's called. This is the orifice. We're going to pull it through there, and now we're ready to practice. Now we need to check your wheel's tension. I have several videos on my channel with very detailed explanations and troubleshooting tips for both single drive and double drive wheel systems. You can watch those videos next to get even more details about how to set up your tension. For today, I'm just going to go over some of the very basics of what your tension should look like when it is adjusted properly. I'll include links to those videos and some other resources in the description below this video. What you want to happen while you treadle is for the yarn to draw in or take up onto the bobbin, but a balance is required here. You are Goldilocks. You don't want your wheel's tension to be too strong or too loose. You want it to be just right. This exchange between you and the wheel should be gentle. You should never feel like the wheel is trying to rip your yarn out of your hands, or that you need to keep some sort of a death grip on it to keep it out of the wheel. If it feels like this, your tension is too strong. Loosen the tension on your wheel. On the other hand, you do need to have some tension between you and the spinning wheel. If you loosen your grip on your yarn and nothing happens, it won't draw up onto the wheel, then your tension is too loose. You'll want to tighten your tension in this case. Go ahead and adjust the tension on your spinning wheel. Make it too tight, feel what that feels like. Make it too loose, feel what that feels like. And figure out where you can find the balance between the two, where it's very comfortable. This is what a good tension looks like. You should be able to feed your yarn onto the wheel when you move it towards the wheel, and you should be able to pull it back out of the wheel without too much resistance. Perfect tension is a balance between feeding and pulling. You're now going to treadle and let the loop of yarn feed onto the wheel. When you've run out of yarn, you can pull it back out and do it again. Continue doing this with your loop until you're very comfortable with your feet and your hands. I know you're really excited to start spinning actual fiber, and we're almost there, but let's practice one more very important step. Next, we're going to practice controlling the twist as it goes into your loop of practice yarn. To do this, I want you to pull your entire loop off the bobbin and make sure that it's loose and separated. Hold it with both hands. Usually, spinners will put their dominant hand as the hand closest to the wheel, but you can practice either way and see what's most comfortable for you. Watch out for death grip though. You don't want to hang on too tight. That might be a tension problem. With your hand closest to the spinning wheel, you're going to pinch the loop of yarn. Let the twist build up between the orifice and the point where you're pinching the yarn. See how the twist is here, but not back here? This is what we're going to practice. As the twist builds up, slide those pinchy fingers back and let the wheel take up some of that twisted yarn. Slide those pinchy fingers back and let the wheel take it up. Keep practicing this. When you come to the end of your loop, you can pull it off the bobbin and do it again. Practice in both directions until you feel very comfortable controlling the twist. So let's start spinning some actual fiber. You're going to make another loop of yarn like we did before, but this time a shorter one. You just need it to be able to reach from the bobbin and out the orifice. This is called your leader, and it's what we're going to use to get our fiber onto the bobbin when we start spinning. There are a lot of different types of fibers and different ways that those fibers can be prepared for spinning, and that's really too much to cover in this video today. We're just going to cover the essentials. As long as you can pull your fiber apart, it'll work for you to spin. There's plenty of time to get fancy with it later. Take the fiber that you have for your first spin. When you pull the fiber apart to thin it out, this is called drafting. Tuck the end of your fiber through your loop and fold it over. Start treadling nice and slow. You may need to adjust your tension at this point because so far it was set up for a loop of practice yarn. You might want it to be a little looser to practice with this actual fiber. You're going to continue the same motion you did with your pinchy fingers. Pull the fiber apart just a little. Let the pinch come forward and then do that again. So you're going to pinch and slide with a little tug on the fiber each time. Remember, you can stop treadling anytime you need to. If you get nervous or frustrated and start to treadle faster and faster, you'll only make your problem worse, I promise. It's okay to stop treadling. As you build twist, you'll feed more and more fiber into the wheel. You should also be able to pull this fiber back out of the wheel. If you'd like, you can fold it over, let it twist on itself, and get a good idea of what your final yarn is going to look like. As the fiber builds up onto your bobbin, Don't forget to change hooks or pegs or slide so that your bobbin fills up evenly as you go. You'll slide or change hooks back and forth along the bobbin until the whole thing is filled. Oh my goodness, now you're spinning. Hooray! You're going to repeat this motion until your bobbin is full or until you run out of fiber, whichever comes first. When you're ready to add more fiber to the fiber that you were spinning, make sure there's a wispy part left on the end. Lay it over the next wispy part and keep on spinning. Most wheels have some piece next to the orifice that you can put a half hitch over to pause your spinning if you need to go and get more fiber.
Or coffee.
Or coffee. As you practice spinning, it will start to feel more and more natural. Don't worry about any lumps or bumps or inconsistencies that you might have in your first yarn. Everybody has yarn like that. Also, make sure you save that first yarn. You'll never have another one just like it. And it's always nice to look back on a journey and see where we started from and how far we've come. I would love to know if this video helped you spin your very first yarn. Let me know by giving me a thumbs up or leaving a comment down below. As you practice spinning more and more, you'll start to get more comfortable and you'll be able to learn all of the fancy techniques so that you can make all of those yarns you're drooling over on Pinterest. You'll get there, I promise. Just keep spinning. To learn more about spinning, I encourage you to watch some of the videos that I have linked in the description below or that might be popping up on your screen right now. Don't forget to subscribe, and happy spinning, fiber friend!